Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Novak's press conference. We will begin right now. Novak, if you could just look to your left, we have a written question we're going to start out with from Francisco from ESPN Argentina. The question is, in a couple of weeks, Andy showed that he can beat a top 10 like Zverev and played a 5-set match. I would like to ask you if you saw yesterday's match and how did you feel about Murray's comeback?
I saw a little bit of his match, and I was not surprised with his fighting spirit and the way he came back to win it, because he has done it more than a few times in his career. He's truly a champion. He has a big heart, and he's a real fighter and a great example of someone who lives it all on the court and being very determined, especially after everything he has been through in the last 5 years with his hips surgeries, and a year and a half ago in Australia, probably saying goodbye to tennis and then coming back, and then, you know, winning last week against Zverev, who is a top 10 player, winning a tournament in Belgium last year. I mean, it's really impressive. I mean, I truly hope that he can stay healthy and that he can go on for a long time like this.
Thank you very much. Screen in front of you, we will have Peter from ESPN.com. Peter, you are live with Novak.
Speaking of great fighting spirit, Novak, I mean, you go out there today, you played last week at the Western and Southern. It's a hot day. It's really humid. You got a pretty tough guy who wins a first set tiebreaker. You've had so much success this year and also in your career. So where do you find in a situation like that discipline and the desire to kind of go on and come back and win that match?
Well, I think the mindset approaching Grand Slams is different from any other tournament. You know, for me, I actually, like my chances the longer the match goes, especially with someone like Kyle that spends a lot of energy. He's playing some powerful tennis, serve and forehand, but doesn't move that well, for a long time. So I knew that eventually, physically, he's going to drop his level a bit, and that's when I, stepped it up and I held my nerves and stayed consistent. Credit to him for winning the first set. He deserved it. He was playing really well. Wasn't easy for me. I mean, he was hitting his spots with serve, high percentage of first serves, forehand, backhand, very solid, protecting the line. In the second set, things started to change a little bit, start to feel more comfortable. I start to read his serve better. I thought I was serving better than I did in the first round. There were some ups and downs throughout the match, but it was over 3 hours. A tough opponent, a tough test. And I mean, this is something that can happen. Obviously, you drop a set, and I'm actually glad that I did drop a set and got tested the way I did today against Kyle. And I expected it to be a tough task. So I'm really glad having a early kind of tough matches early in the tournament, because it kind of serves me better, I think, for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you, Peter. Let's go next, Novak, on the same screen to Mark from the New York Post. Mark, you are live with Novak.
Yeah, hi, Novak.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah, I guess maybe you're the only men's player who did rent the house.
So
how is that working out? Did you feel you have a little extra edge than the other players who were in the hotel?
I am really grateful that I have an opportunity to stay in the house, and as soon as there was a chance for us to choose to be in a house, we took it right away without thinking, and I'm glad we did. Any player had that opportunity. It's not the privilege of the top guys or girls. So anyone that wanted to, spend money and stay in the house, he or she could have done that. I know there's very few players that have chosen to stay in the house, but it is a personal choice.
And why was that so important to you instead of, being in the hotel?
Well, I think it's obvious. I mean, being in a hotel, you're unable to open the window in the room, and you constantly have to, be with a mask indoors, outdoors, everywhere, and you can't really go out and spend time in the garden, maybe outdoors. And I saw the hotel. Hotel is not in a best position. I mean, in terms of having nature around. I mean, it's very close to the highway, so. Look, USTA did what they could do. Of course, made sure that they take the entire hotel for the players, and most of them are staying there. And but I never spend a second thinking that I can stay in a hotel. Is when I heard that I can have a chance to stay in a house, I took it right away.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Let's go next to Craig from Cross Court. Craig, you are live with Novak.
Novak, 2 matches down now into the third round. Overall, how comfortable are you feeling? Sure, you had the benefit of playing on these same courts last week with the Cincinnati Masters, but if you had to adjust anything, or is there any aspect that you're not totally satisfied with, what would it be?
I thought there's a lot of positives in the last couple of weeks. Had plenty of match play on the court. I competed great, especially in the last couple of matches during the Cincinnati tournament. Those were very important wins, I think, mentally for me. And coming into U.S. Open, I don't feel tired. I don't feel like energy or recovery is going to be an issue, or is an issue for me. In contrary, I actually feel very fit. So, I love playing best of 5. I like my chances best of 5 on the center court of U.S. Open against anybody in the world. So, being experienced player and playing on a big stage for so many times, and obviously part of the tour for 15 years helps in this kind of particular situation. So I'm just going to do what I know works best for me, and hope for the best.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Once again, in front of you, Novak, Bill Simons from Inside Tennis. Bill, you are live with Novak.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Novak. Congrats on the association, and you keep on winning and winning. Well done. I did want to ask you about a comment you made the other day about, you said it's been challenging mentally and emotionally to stay sane. Could you just express what you were thinking at that point?
Well, obviously, Player Association, even though I've mentioned that it's not a new idea, it's not a new project, it's been there for, 20 plus years. Many different generations of players try to accomplish that, make that final step, and actually legally and concretely starting a player association. So, we're just following up on what the previous generations have attempted to do. But at the same time, it has been treated, in the last week or so, as something that is new and that is disturbing to the ecosystem of tennis, at least from the statements of ATP and the rest of the governing bodies in sports. So it's not easy for me, obviously, dealing with all of that in the midst of the tournament. It was Cincinnati just before semifinals when it all started, and of course, it's kind of fading away a little bit, but it's still out there, and a lot of people are talking about it. Of course, it is a great conversation happening off the court, whether that's going to live or not. We are progressing. We have highest of intentions for players. This is the only thing we have. We don't want to fight anyone. We don't want to fight for existence with ATP, ITF, or any other governing body. I think there is a place for player association. There always has been a place for player association. It's just that right now, obviously there are people that just don't want that to happen because there's a certain structural system in place that has been protecting them, and I understand that. That's fine. But I am representing first and foremost the players' rights, and this is going to give them a platform for a stronger voice, which I think is very important. And this is kind of expected as well, because we are one of the few global sports that doesn't have the players' association like the other global sports do. So we are very pleased. We are very motivated to do our best, and we are happy that there is every single day more and more players signing in. So of course, the next step after the Open is going to be creating a structure legally, of course, the bylaws and everything to follow. It's a big project. It's a long-term project as well, but we're taking it slow, and we're happy that we're here.
And it is a momentous moment in men's tennis history. But just talk about Roger and Rafa. They obviously are such important figures. And Vasek was saying that there hadn't been conversations ahead of time. That they did, of course, send out that letter. What are your thoughts about their position, and will you be reaching out to them, or have you spoken to them already?
I have reached out to them, and we have spoken about this project several times in the past, actually. But I have reached out to them before we made it official, before we gathered with all the players on the grandstand, on, I think it was last Saturday. And so they were very much aware of what is going to happen, and I respect, of course, completely their choice of that. That they don't want to be involved in it at the moment. They don't think it's the right time, and that's fine. That's their opinion. I disagree with that, and I think it's kind of never a right time, and it's always a right time, right? I mean, for player association, it's always a right time, and it has been the right time for the last 20 years, but somehow it was never really accomplished and never really realized. So right now it is, and we're moving forward.
Thank you very much, Bill. Novak, if once again you could look to the left on the blue screen, on the tennis aspect from Willie Weinbaum of ESPN, what effect does the absence of Federer and Nadal have on the tournament and on you?
On me, 0, and on the tournament, definitely big effect, because they're obviously legends of the sport, and they are greatly missed. But other than them, and maybe Stan, everyone is here, so it's still a very strong field.
Thank you very much. Let's go to in front of you, Ubaldo from La Nación. Ubaldo, you are live with Novak.
Ciao, Novak.
Ciao.
I don't know if you were already told, because I had technological problems and struggling with the timetables.
Well, that's very strange. Usually you never have those problems.
Yeah, 25 wins, but you lost the first tiebreaker in the year after 10-1. Were you shocked a little bit to lose that tiebreaker or not? While I can tell you that I was shocked by your big roar, the roar that you made when you made a break in the fourth set, and you woke up my wife, who was sleeping, with this incredible huge roar. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Why
that
do you do
I
that?
woke your wife up. I hope she'll forgive me, but I had to bring some energy on the court. I mean, this is how I play. I mean, I try to bring in the intensity, of course, in these very strange conditions and circumstances where you're playing in front of the empty stadium. But at the same time, also something that is quite new for us is that all the suites that you have, both floors are filled with players, top players, both male and female. So they're watching you, right? They're there, and you can sense that there is also that kind of additional pressure to perform well in front of them. So that was it was a great point that I thought I hustled very well, and I just felt that I should kind of scream and roar, and that's what I did. And the tiebreak, look, I don't think I played a fantastic tiebreak, but I think Kyle did well. He deserved to win that tiebreak in the first set. I think he was just a very solid player, probably a better player in the first set. I mean, having a very good tiebreak record this year, but also, you know, in the last probably 5 years, it's a huge confidence booster coming into any tiebreak on a big stage. So, you know, hopefully next one I will feel as well as I did.